Good day guys, my name is Amo Shago Hysen and welcome to my channel once again. You must have watched previous editions where we're giving you an overview of PTDF scholarship. Another, we talked about MSc, the requirements and the documents for submission prior to the application, just so you get yourself ready. Today we are going to be dealing with PhD overseas scholarship for the PTDF, and I won't be the one doing the talking because I'm MSc. I haven't gotten to that level. I have with me here a PhD PTDF scholar studying right here in the UK, Scotland to be specific. A very simple person. He prefers to be addressed by his first name, Joshua. So we have with us here PTDF scholar Joshua.
All right, thank you, Hysen. Well, I'm Joshua, that's my name. There are no other prefixes. Whatever the prefix is, Joshua is Joshua. All right, thank you, Hysen, for having me. And I'm just going to be running you through the requirements to secure the PhD PTDF scholarship. I know a lot of guys out there are wondering, what do I need to do? What are the requirements? What should I have to secure this prestigious scholarship? So I'll just run through them the checklist of what you need to have. All right. Now, first of all, you must have your NYSC certificate, your discharge certificate, or the letter of exemption. You must have completed your NYSC and passed out and have the certificate handy. And you must also be a computer literate. I cannot overemphasize that fact. Virtually all organizations these days require you to be a computer literate. So you cannot succeed in the process without being a computer literate. A lot of the processes, the activities building up to the award of the scholarship requires you to be a computer literate. So that will help your journey applying for and getting the PTDF scholarship. The next thing I have here is your first degree. Now for the PhD category, you need to have a minimum of a 2-2 or second class lower degree. You need a 2-2. If you have a 2-1, that's very good. It's another advantage. You earn more marks for having a 2-1. But 2-2 is the benchmark for the PhD. So if you have your 2-2...
So I think the 2-2 comes with an attachment that you must have some level of work experience.
All right, yeah, that's very correct. So if you have a 2-2, you need to have some experience, a relevant industry experience. So you ought to have been in the industry for some time in order to make up for your 2-2. Yeah, so if you have a 2-1, fine. You may not necessarily need that retinue of long experiences at the industry level. So that's that for that. And the next point I have here is your research proposal. Now this is where I would like to dwell on. Now, your research proposal has to be very intact. By being intact, I mean it has to be comprehensive enough. Now, it has to be very relevant to the oil and gas industry. As much as possible, no matter the background you're coming from, whether you're in the pure sciences, the physical sciences, engineering, humanities, law,
medicine.
Thank you very much. No matter the discipline you are in, your research proposal has to be relevant to the oil and gas industry. And this is where your ingenuity has to come in, because a lot of persons usually think, oh, I didn't study petroleum engineering. Now, once they hear the word petroleum, they just feel it's all restricted to the petroleum courses.
Straight-jacketed.
Exactly. So it's not like that. I've actually seen people from other disciplines apart from the physical sciences of engineering and geology, chemistry, having this scholarship fully funded and sponsored. So you can be in law, you can be in economics, you can be in the social sciences, you can even be in geography and still get this scholarship.
Like Priya that talked about the master's scholarship.
Exactly.
She's not science oriented.
Exactly.
And I think we'll take it up with her on one of our subsequent editions,
yes,
where she will tell people that it's not all about the science or engineering.
Exactly. Yeah. So don't put yourself back, don't relegate yourself. That's what we're trying to say. So you must not have a degree in engineering or just ensure that your research proposal has a link, has a way to benefit the oil and gas industry. And that's where your ingenuity has to come in. So in case you didn't do petroleum related courses, you have to be very strategic in preparing a proposal that will have a way to benefit the oil and gas industry, directly or indirectly. So please take note of that. And okay, let me just also add this to the contents of your research proposal. Now, your research proposal, like you see on the PTDF portal, the website, I think the give a breakdown of what the proposal should contain. It should have a title, an introduction, the research problem. Time will fail me to go into these bits in detail, but the title, the introduction, the research problem, the aim of the research questions and objectives, the scope, they all have to be captured. Maybe we'll do another video, I don't know.
Maybe addressing how to...
And your proposal should not be so bulky. It's not going to be a project work. Nobody will have that luxury of time to go through a lengthy proposal. Just highlight what you want to do, how you want to do it. It's a proposal, so it's not a project. You have not carried out the research, so you don't have to get scared about or how to get it. It's a proposal. You are telling them, this is what I want to do, this is how I want to go about it. Some sketchy, but just make it as detailed as possible.
The blueprint for your research scope or research interest.
Exactly.
Just to further convince them you know exactly what you want to do.
Exactly. And lastly, your proposal should have a list of references in order to help us know the sources you refer to in order to prepare a proposal. Now, you also have to note this. For, we have different categories. Majority of persons that apply for these scholarships are lecturers in the universities. But it is not restricted to lecturers in universities alone. If you're a lecturer, you can apply. If you are not a lecturer, you are not in the academia, you can also apply. You can also get this scholarship. But if you are a lecturer in a university, you must get a letter from your vice chancellor or rector or provost, as the case may be, depending on whether you are in a university or a polytechnic or even a college of education.
Yeah, I think the rector applies to polytechnics, while the provost applies to colleges of education and polytechnics.
Oh, very good. That's correct. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so, and why do you need to do that? In case you get a scholarship, you should know that you cannot have the PTDF scholarship and you're also a recipient of another scholarship.
Especially another federal government supported and enabled scholarship.
Sponsored scholarship, very good. Yeah. So you cannot earn two federal government sponsored scholarship at the same time. If they catch you, or yours is your own. Don't say I didn't tell you. All right. Now another thing you need to have is your NIN. Now that's not an issue. I believe for you to even have a SIM card in Nigeria today, you should have your NIN.
Yeah.
So I believe everybody listening to me has his or her NIN. So you need that handy because during the application stages, you have to upload it or I think submit the details of your NIN. And I think that's just all about the first part. Then the other parts, what are the documents you need to have handy? Now in preparing for your application, now you have to have these documents handy. When you want to start the process of applying, maybe you are before a computer, the things you just need to have on hand in order to apply for this scholarship. Now your first degree certificate or statement of results. Sure, for PhD, you should have your certificate. Because for you to want to now apply for a PhD, it's assumed you already have your master's degree.
Yeah.
So you should have your first degree certificate. So if you have not collected your first degree certificate, you have all the time to quickly do that now. You know, a lot of persons, when they see applications like this, that's when they like to run back to their universities to go apply for certificates. So please, in case you have not collected your certificate, don't wait till the portal is open before you start rushing. And
yeah, I think especially for persons who went to one university for their undergraduate and masters, since you don't really have transcript transfer and any of those things, you just continue and then forget or just go down to their subconscious.
Some don't even think it's necessary to collect certificate. I think as long as you went to the school, paid all the fees, even if you are not using it for anything, it's your property, you've paid for it, so have it handy. So you need your certificate to apply for the scholarship. Then your NYC discharge certificate or exemption letter, you should have it handy, properly scanned. You should also have your WAEC O-level results, WAEC or NECO as the case may be, depending on which you used in gaining admission into your higher institution. You have that handy. Then you need a recent passport photograph, either on a white or red background.
At least 3 months.
Yes, 3 months prior to the time of application. So you should have your passport photograph handy. Then you should also have your local government of origin certificate. You need that. In case you have not obtained that, you can quickly, wherever you are in Nigeria, travel back to your state or local government and get that certificate, scan it and keep it somewhere. Okay, so for the PhD, you need your master's degree certificate. or statement of result at worst. But please, I think I'll encourage everyone to get certificates, because certificates are usually better, so that when you appear before the interview panel, you don't have to face the questions of, oh, why don't you have the certificate and all that. So it's just better you have your master's degree certificate. And lastly on my list here, evidence of membership of professional organizations or associations. Now each field, depending on your field, there are professional bodies that are associated with your course of study. For example, I studied engineering. In engineering, we have NSC, Nigerian Society of Engineers. We also have COREN. I think those are the two very important.
COREN, Council for Regulation
Yes.
of Engineering in Nigeria.
Very good, thank you. So you have to be registered with either NSC or COREN. And now there's this barrier, you have to have 5 years post-graduation. Now, whichever one, just ensure you have a professional membership certificate. It could be NSC, it could be COREN, or even if it's a membership certificate in your field. For example, in mechanical engineering, there's what we call NIMEC, Nigerian Institute of Mechanical Engineers.
Okay.
All fields have their various.
I think they popularly call it NIMEC-E.
NIMEC-E. We call it
yeah.
NIMEC.
That applies to mechanical engineers.
So
You have the one for civil engineers,
Exactly.
agricultural engineers.
SPE.
They all come under the Nigerian Society of Engineers.
Exactly. They're all branches of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. So if you are an accountant, for instance, ICANN is very important.
ANAN as well.
ANAN, yes.
ANAN.
So these are all professional certifications you need to have. Now I'll tell you why you need it. There are marks allotted for each of these certifications you have. So that will aid you in applying, so that you don't have to come back. So you apply, you pause it because you don't have this certificate. So just get these things handy. Just play the video again, get all these certificates, and ensure you are ready to make the application at one stretch. So that's all for now. I don't know if Hyacinth will have to add one or two things.
Yeah, just to add that when it comes to evidence of membership of professional associations, student membership is also accepted. PTDF is that liberal. So if you're presenting, as long as it's a professional body, if you're a student member or a graduate member, it's all accepted. Like for MSc, though this is PhD, for MSc, I presented the membership of the Nigerian Institute of Management Chartered, graduate member.
Yeah, it's
It was
accepted.
My NSE, as at that time, was also graduate membership.
Sure.
I had just secured COREN before wanting to go back to NSE. But
It's
all
accepted.
of those were accepted. So
You have to be able to show, and there's something I also want to add. If you have a certificate of excellence, maybe you've been awarded by any organization for a meritorious service, you have an award and you have a certificate to that effect, you could also present it. It's also accepted. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a professional certificate, so to say. So if it's a certificate of award of excellence, or maybe you are the best graduating student in your university, you are the best
your college,
in your
faculty,
college,
school,
or maybe you rendered one humanitarian service or the other and you were given a certificate for it, PTDF recognizes it. So put everything together and make the application.
Yeah, I think that is one issue we may likely take up in one particular episode and probably address it more in-depthly
Yeah,
than
very
we
important.
have actually done.
Very
So,
important.
Joshua, Doc, Nivu, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
You did, I'm sure, our host of prospective PTDF scholars have benefited from it. So, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and don't forget, prepare ahead of time to apply and join us. Thank you.
Good luck.
Yeah, bye.